Hey guys, hey Craig. First in the door, mate. Superb. Hey Dan and Haley, hey Jacob, hey Stan, hey Ruby, thanks for coming in.
Hello, Andrew.
Hello fella, how's it going?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. How are you?
I am good, thank you, buddy.
Good.
How's your Thursday been?
Pretty busy, to be honest. A lot of running around today. I've currently got like 3 deals going through, so they're all literally right at the end. So it's like juggling a lot of paperwork, and rather than waiting for like the postman, I'm just thinking, do you know what? Jump in my car. Let's just get things done, and then let's get it over the line.
I was going to ask you about that, Postman Craig.
Yeah, 2 for the price of 1 with me. But yeah, no, it's been good. I'm doing a lot of furniture building in JV1 as well. The carpets are in. So yeah, it's been a busy Thursday. In fact, after this, I'll probably go back there and just finish off the bed because it's kind of like half done. And I hate when things are like half done.
Yeah, no stopping you. Well, I think we've got some good people on already. Let's just jump straight in. I'll just do a quick intro for people who haven't seen anything this week. So, we decided to put together this kind of series, talk about kind of some of the mindset stuff in the background. Background of property. We're big on our mindset stuff. That's why we put all our quotes on our page. For those of you that have joined through Craig's side of Instagram, I'm Andrew from Elite Investor Group. My partner Mary and I are architects by profession, property investors by choice, and we work in HMOs up in Leeds. And I'm joined tonight by the one and only Craig Sullivan, aka the Property Apprentice. You want to introduce yourself, mate?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so for those that don't know me, my name's Craig Sullivan. I'm the managing director of Student House Gillingham, which is a HMO management company based in Gillingham in Kent. And we predominantly manage student HMOs, although we've dabbled in some professional HMOs, but our bread and butter is student lets. And alongside that, I have my JV opportunities as well as sourcing and also loan backs for investors, and also my personal portfolio, which I've grown now to 13 HMOs, a commercial unit, which I'm in now, and my residential address. So yeah, 15 houses so far, and I've got 3 going through as we speak. So yeah.
So Mega, other than the commercial unit that you sat in, is it all HMOs or is there anything else in there?
All HMOs. Yeah, literally, that's it. Yeah, all student HMOs.
All right, okay, Mega. So let's jump in first then. Big up the grafters.
Big up the grafters. My mantra.
I think we all know your mantra, and we all know how hard you work. I mean, what is that always been, kind of ingrained in you? Have you always been like that?
Yeah, so it's kind of evolved. So I always sat up after I always like to show people what I'm doing, and I'm a strong believer that you get a lot out of what you put in.
Yeah.
And the harder you work, good things come to those who graft. And so it all started to evolve, where I started saying, like, big up the dream chasers, the doers and the grafters, and then somehow someone just wrote back saying big up the grafters, and then it stuck with it. And then I've just used that after every like big win of the week or a big win of the day. I always say big up the grafters, because I think it's such an understated word, a grafter, but I ultimately means hard worker, and
yeah.
And I'm not special. I mean, I mean, if you look at my background, I went to a really don't really want to offend anyone, but a really low school. I think it was the worst in England in terms of grade.
Okay.
Yeah. If you Google it, it was called the Ramsgate School. And in 2002, I think it had a really bad review, like by Ofsted. It was horrendous. But anyway, so it goes to show you, I mean, it doesn't matter where you start or where it's all about your work ethic and where you end up. And I'm a strong believer in that. So yeah, like I said, all I've done is just put my work ethic behind everything that I do, and just try and outwork everyone, and that's it.
Well, the other thing I'm going to turn around and say to that is, why? Because I thought this was all, passive property and passive investing in property, and I thought you bought a house, everything went swimmingly, you put some tenants in, and then you sit on the beach drinking your margaritas. So why do you need to be a grafter in this industry?
If only. No, if only. No, yeah, like I said, I've always just gone for it. Like whatever I've touched, I've just wanted to just go 100% at and try and be the best at what I do, but also have fun on the way. If you don't enjoy something, or if you're not learning why you're doing it, then what's the point of doing it? That's my motto. So I'm either having fun, learning, and that's why I do stuff. And but yeah, to your point about passiveness, yeah, it's definitely not passive. It's definitely not passive at all. Like if you actually look at the term passive, it means you just sit back, watch the molly roll in, and that's it. But that, to be honest, that's why my agency does very well, because we literally do everything in terms of the management. So
Yeah.
if you're one of my landlords, I'll literally say to you, look, you give me the keys, I'll do the legwork in terms of advertising your property, finding the tenants, etc., etc., etc. And landlords buy into it, and they like that passiveness. And I think there's a gap in the market for good management agents that want to work hard and get it, but it's certainly not passive in a sense where you buy it, find tenants, and away you go. Not in my experience, anyway.
No, I suppose not, unless you do what you find, unless you're willing to be the investor who finds someone like you who does it.
That's right.
And then
that's the thing, yeah.
But you have to accept that comes with that. Okay, yeah, you might get more time because you're not doing the work, but you will obviously get a smaller income. And if that's not a smaller income, but a smaller return on your investment, because you're paying a fee for that management and that service in the middle, and that might be right for people. But I imagine most people in this live are probably wanting to do it all for themselves and replace their job and whatnot. And so I imagine they're going to be in the grafter category.
Absolutely, exactly that. I mean, that's where I started. I was just literally like a sponge, did it all, even the renovation, all the way from sourcing the property, renovations, management, everything, cleaning out, checking out tenants, absolutely everything. And I think that's good, and that's a natural progression, because then you know all the stages,
yeah,
and then you can kind of outsource that. I've decided to grow that but outsource individual bits to like my lettings manager and also Brandon.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask. I was going to say the word outsourcing, but how much of it have you passed on to other people, whether that be employees in the company or actually outsourced?
Yeah. So, well, I've got two members of staff. One's a property manager, and so he would manage everything from anything to do with a live tenancy. So from showing viewings, advertising, making sure it's on the website, etc., etc. Anything to do with a live tenancy, that's his role. It falls on him. Yeah. Then I've got Brandon, who does all my social media, all the company's social media, and any ad hoc tasks, and also takes inquiries where Josh does them. He takes them, books them in, and he's the kind of like face of the company in terms of any problems go through him, and then he'll delegate it. And then myself, I sit like just overseeing everything. This is like the back office, and yeah, I do everything to do with like the money, any landlord investor inquiries that comes from me. And at the moment, that's kind of how our little team works, and it works quite effectively. But my plan over the next 6 to 12 months is to make another step and just come out of this business.
Right. Okay.
A little bit. It's going to be tough. I don't like to let go. I promise you that. It's difficult for me, but I'm learning, and I think Josh is ready now to step up. I think Brandon's ready to step up. So it's a natural fit for us. So yeah, I guess that's the next step.
So what order did you start outsourcing stuff in an order, in terms of like, you know what, I hate that live, the bit when it's live dealing with the tenant, I hate that bit, so I'm going to outsource that bit first? Or was it just that was an easy package to pass on to somebody?
It was just where we grew. It got to the point where it was just too much. Like I was doing all the rent and rent receivables versus rent payables, and that's a job on its own. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm getting calls for maintenance issues. I'm getting new inquiries. So I thought, no, I need an intern. So I advertised for an intern. Along came Josh. He was actually a previous tenant as well. So he knew me. He knew how we worked. He knew the team, the maintenance team. So it was a good fit for him. And yeah, he was a duck to water. He literally came in. He knew everything. And yeah, I kept him on, and that allowed me to have a bit of breathing space, start working on my business a bit, rather than just going a bit crazy, just doing everything. And then it carried on growing, and then Josh was like, wow, and I was seeing how hard he worked, and I was like, God, we need an admin guy. Yeah, so then we called in Brandon, who he started in October this year, and yeah, again, he's fantastic, and again, a previous tenant. He knows the university. He's quite popular with all the students. So again, it's a really good fit.
I'd like to know how many other people have taken on previous tenants into their company, because you hear people talk about the stories of like, oh, how did you get into property? And they're like, oh, well, I was living in this shared house thinking, oh, this landlord's making good money, and you know what I mean, and that's spurred him into property. And so I'd love to know how many other people have had a tenant come up to them and be like, oh, I want to get involved. I want to know what you're doing. I want to learn from you, or anything. I want to come work for you.
Yeah,
it's more common than you think it is.
Yeah, well, I actually headhunted Josh because every time I spoke with him, he seemed like a guy with a head on his shoulders. He was polite. He presented himself well. Don't get me wrong, not all students do that or have that impression. Some of them you think, oh my God, I couldn't imagine anything worse. But no, Josh was fantastic. I thought, you know what, he seems on it. So I just threw it out there. I said, look, I'm looking to grow my team. I know we've spoken a few times. You present yourself really well. Do you fancy do you fancy a position? Here's the job spec. Let me know. And he literally had like a week to think about it, and it's completely unrelated to his degree. I think he did sport management or sport therapy.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, we sat down and we discussed what he wanted from the role, what I could give him, the progression, and yeah, he's been here like 3 years now. So
all right, mega.
Yeah.
We're gonna, guys, send your questions in. We're gonna do them at the end. However, I'm gonna take this one from Arshad now because we're on the topic, and he's asking, why did you take on an intern and not a VA? That's kind of, I suppose, more commonly people do.
Yeah. So I need someone in the office. Like I said, we've actually got an office, so we're not like homebound or anything like that. We're actually in the office. So with a property manager, I tend to find you need someone physically to go out to properties to assess maintenance issues.
Okay.
A VA can't really do that or can't really do that effectively. So what I said to Josh is, look, you're going to be out and about. You're going to be literally, when that phone rings, and there's a boiler gone down, the first protocol is you. You need to top it up. If it doesn't top up, then we escalate it, and we call in the plumber or boiler engineer, whatever. So I did look into VAs, but VAs are a bit more static, whereas I needed a property manager who's very hands-on, and I think the tenants prefer that as well. Like tenants like getting a phone number, they've never met this person, never seen this person. Whereas Josh, myself, and Brandon, we're actual people. We're here in the office. We're part of the community. And we're your knight in shining armor if you need us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I wanted someone.
Makes total sense, and I think going back a few steps to what you were saying is we might want to manage all our stuff ourselves because we want to understand, we want to learn the process, we want to know what happened here and then our ideal situation is that we then hire somebody to take those roles on of kind of like filling rooms and everything like you're saying, because then they can follow our processes and protocols of how we want things to do to give our tenants and future tenants and past tenants the best service possible, as opposed to just farming it straight off to a letting agent who we're just another house, another number. And I find it in any industry, it comes down to the person who someone can tell you a company's great and someone can tell you a company's terrible, and that's all down to who picked up the phone in the company that day when you spoke to them and what mood they were in, so that's the way we'd like to take it as well, and bring somebody in that we've employed or on a commission basis or something, but someone that's through us to take those roles on from us.
Yeah, that's right. And that's something that, again, I like to offer my landlords, is that you don't get some Saturday boy, you don't get someone who's like, I know you go to some of these high street agents and it's a different face every week. It's not that at all. You're dealing with me and Josh, who's been in the company 3 years, so they're familiar with him, and I think that makes all the difference with a smaller company like ours. Whereas VAs, if you don't see them, I don't know. It just didn't fit for what we needed it for. But yeah, to your point, I think that's a great strategy. Is yeah, learn it, be exposed to it, but go all in on it. And then yeah, you can outsource it and adapt it to how it suits you and your situation.
Yeah.
Because as well, because as well, we're low. Like literally, I know people say, "Oh, I invest like 100 miles away, 200 miles away." We don't. I literally live 10 minutes away, and this whole area where I'm at, the whole perimeter of about two miles, is the student perimeter, and so I'm never too far away.
No, that's good. We made that decision to invest more local. We based ourselves up. So I'm from Leeds originally, but when we moved back to the UK, we based ourselves in Leeds because we had that access to all across the north, Liverpool, all the way across to Hull, wherever we wanted to invest. Yeah. And eventually, we just came to the decision that Leeds is such a strong city, kind of financially and economically, and the future growth is got everything. That okay, it might be a slightly higher kind of cost of entry than some of the other cities around us in the north, but we also just thought about the time saving from not having to travel an hour over to Manchester or an hour over to Hull every time we wanted to go and look at something. So yeah, we made the same decision to be local. And,
yeah.
Are you able to tell us what's going on in the next 6 to 12 months, or is that all top secret to be revealed later?
6 to 12 months. To be honest, I don't know what to make of the situation. To be honest, it's all up in the air. But for me, I guess I'm trying to stick to the plan of focusing on my portfolio for the next 6 to 12 months for me. But are you referring to the student let market?
Oh no, referring to you were saying that you were hoping to step back or something, or make it.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, exactly that. So, like I mentioned on Andy's show that during this lockdown has been brilliant because it's given me time to actually a bit of breathing space to have a look at my businesses, my incomes and stuff like that. And my most profitable business of those 3 buckets I talked about earlier is definitely my own portfolio and the income that I earn from that. So that's what I want to be focusing on. So the next 6 to 12 months is like just reaching out to potential JV partners, anyone who's got a bit of change that they want to invest and also learn. And yeah, just trying to think outside the box to make something work in order to get that portfolio up. And then as well, yeah, and that leads on to what I was talking about. The 6 to 12 month plan is to try and get out of that, and that's having a conversation with Josh, prepping him, making sure he's ready for anything that's thrown his way. So yeah, I guess that's what will be the focus. But yeah, we've had a bit of a hit, obviously, with regards to new business because of what's happened. No viewings are taking place and stuff like that. So that's going to be, I think, a major focal point because we're getting the leads coming through, which is great. We just can't do the viewings.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because we did the videos, but when we say to them that here's the video, let me know if you like it. Yeah, we love it. Okay, well here's the account you send the deposit to. Oh, we don't want to send the deposit until we've seen it. And I'm like, well, you can't see it because we're on lockdown. So it's like catch-22. But we've kept those leads. So obviously when we're out, hopefully we'll give them a call, we'll get them viewed in, and we've got a few houses let. But yeah, that'll probably be the main focus for the next 6 months at least. Yeah.
All your room, have you when do you normally fill your rooms for the next year? Have you still got some houses that need to be filled then?
Yes, we've got 90 HMOs on our books that we manage. We've got 66 let for next year, starting in September.
Okay, all right.
So yes, we've done quite well. We had a really good start, and like I said, it's just a shame about what happened with the coronavirus and the shutdown. Because we were building momentum, and I think we would have done 100% occupancy. But yeah, it is what it is. But hopefully, we see a late surge as soon as we come out. So July, August time, maybe even September. That late. But yeah, do you invest in student lets, Andrew?
No, but your talk with Andy, and then I was talking with Mike Clay. I don't know if you come across Mike yesterday as well. Yeah. Your talk with Andy got us really thinking about it, and then I was talking with Mike. We've been doing some vision and strategy kind of stuff with him. Which is an area he's kind of well versed in from his previous job. And yeah, it's something that I think we might start to consider a bit more. I think there's other benefits, not just from what the kind of kind of income and rental kind of property side of things. There's actual stuff that it might suit us better for what we, our future strategy and what we want to be able to, what we want property to be able to do for us, and be able to travel a bit more. And if you know that you've only got set periods of, January, February, whatever you're doing, you're doing the viewings and trying to fill the rooms, and then September, August, September, or whatever it is going to be the time period where you're doing all the moving in and out. So that could work really well for us, because then that gives us the rest other points of the year where we know we can go away and it's relatively going to be hands off, just have someone here managing it for us in case things, boiler breaks or whatever. So yeah, it's something we've started to think about.
I've literally got a landlord who does exactly that. He travels the world for 11 months of the year, comes back in August. He's got 3 properties with us. Comes back in August, gives them a lick of paint, stays in every single one, and then shoots off travelling again. That literally, that's what he does. That's it, and that's what Student Lets does for you, because because of the structure of it. I think a lot of people have said that, messaged me going, "Oh my God, the Student Let, it seems great for that kind of flexibility to do one." Whereas professionals, it's kind of a bit ad hoc. It's unpredictable.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone can move out any month. Anyone can be moving in. So it definitely something we definitely need to give food for thought. Leeds has quite a heavy Article 4 area. I'm not saying that you can get properties in the Article 4 area. You can do it, but it's a bit harder. And that's where obviously all the students want to be. So but it's definitely something we're gonna start thinking about when I'm in a look.
And Leeds is a massive student town, isn't it? Absolutely
humongous. Humongous. So definitely potential there. So I was wondering if you were going to tell me that you were planning to sail off into the sunset in the next 6 to 12 months, because I'm interested to know when does the grafting finish, so to speak, and they living off the profits on the beach sipping pina coladas kind of start, so to speak.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I guess if you love what you do, it's not really work. I mean, don't get me wrong, that there's moments where I think, oh my God, I'm going to sell this business, I'm going to put it on the market, I'm going to be done with a lot. But then, and that's just like a really tiny proportion. And yet, most of the time, I think I'm really lucky and privileged to have the portfolio that I've got, the position that I'm in, and because, I mean, you might have seen it, but I took my fiance to South Africa for her 30th birthday.
I was living in South Africa through your story. Still absolutely loving it. It's on our safari is on our vision board. I was loving it.
Best thing I've ever done. But like I said, like I went all out, and it's like those moments where I work hard and I think, you know what, I'm going to take this special occasion. I'm going to go all out for it, and that's what I did for Danielle's birthday. Like we had a bit of a crap year in terms of no holidays, because we were saving for our house, which really stretched us. But we got the keys, and then I thought, you know what, we've earned this, and it was her birthday as well. So I try and mix it. So I work hard and spend it on things that matter with the people that matter, So I get that reward. But the ultimate retirement dream is when I'm 50, and that's literally whatever I've got. But at that point, the plan is just to sell the lot. The highest bidder, take everything, clear off my debts, and sail off into the sunset, and live off whatever I make.
All right. Well, it sounds like a great goal. It sounds like you've got plenty of years of enjoying yourself in property still to go.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'll jump back to Yorkshire Property Investors, Craig Mitchell up in Wakefield. He owes me a Zoom call, so I'm going to call him out now while we're here as well. But he was asking, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Is there another strategy you'd like to get into, goals, etc.?
Yes. So for me, I'm really trying to get into the flip side, because I've got such a good team that work on my portfolio, on my HMO conversions, that I'm thinking, just as a sideline, I'd love to get them on a flip, just to keep them busy and maybe keep them on full time, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because I was saying to Andy that I'm a massive fan of auctions. And that's where I actually bought my first 2 properties from auctions, and I got them at such a good price. And I think the way the market's going at the moment, I think there's still going to be bargains to more so at auctions. So yeah, I'd say in the next 5 years, that's the strategy that I want to go in. With regards to my 5-year strategy here in the agency, I think it's just to carry on and maintain the growth here. To be fair, I think we're virtually at saturation point, because 90 HMOs in a smallish area is a lot, especially when you've got like other agencies, other private landlords and stuff like that. So yeah, it's probably focusing on stronger properties, taking on stronger properties, working with investors to build a strong student HMO, the one that stands out above the rest. I don't really want to be taking on any like 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom, mixed match. Yeah, that's not for me. There's no market for them here.
But you've built up and earned your kind of, you know, the what's the word? You've made it so you can say that to people. You've earned that reputation, so you can turn around and say, look, you know, it just it's not going to work. So
that's right, and I feel sorry for some landlords, because they've been here obviously for years in this area, and they come to me and say, oh, well, I've got this property, and I think, okay, great location, go and view it, and I'm shocked. I'm literally like, oh my god, how have you rented this out for this long? Like, I'm generally shocked, and they don't include bills. Like, and what I say to them, I'm not brutal, but I'm just like, look, you need to spend like 10 to 20 grand in here minimum to get up to the spec, like, because this is your competition. Then I whap out my website, I show them all the properties that we've got, and I'll say, look, what would you rather? And some of them get it. Some of them are like, yeah, do you know what, you're right, we need to, and they pump money in, and that's what you've got to do with your investment. But then there's some stubborn people out there that just don't listen. It's in one ear out the other. I don't hear from them again, and then like 6 months later, I see the property on the market, and I'm like, oh, okay, so they didn't listen. But
do you find that's generally the kind of older landlords, not older, but the more long-term landlords?
100%, yeah. It's definitely the guys that have got away with it, like for this long, and that's why there's like a lot of new blood in the property industry, which kind of gets it, and they're like, do you know what, we want to attract the better tenants, we've got to do a renovation, this is our investment, it's only going to be as good as what we put into it. And I think it's a great attitude, and I'm seeing the standard is going through the roof, which is brilliant, especially up north where the cheaper properties are. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, Andy was saying to Jade today on the live at lunchtime that you know, he's like, it was only like 3 years ago, maybe. It's like no one was even dressing rooms. You know, it's just gone through the roof in the last few years with everyone promoting it on Instagram, and you know, virtual video walkthroughs now, Matterport and things like that. It's all just going to another level.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's literally blowing up, and it's good, but it's also kind of scary, because it's like, wow, like, how far do you want to go, and how far after you got to go, and there's got to be that price kind of ceiling, which, because obviously everything extra that you do adds more money to the bottom line. So it's like, yeah, where's the value, and where's it going to stop? But yeah, in terms of standard, it's good, and I think there's still going to be landlords with the older stock. There's still going to be landlords that don't get it, or don't do it as good. So
it was good to hear Jade as well today. So I know not to distract on Andy's live, but you know, saying as well that, you know, she's not ashamed. She wasn't ashamed to say she's got some properties that still have wood chip wallpaper in, because the margins didn't work. You know, she took it off, the margins didn't work. So it is. I think it's important that people realise that. Yeah, these properties we're seeing on Instagram, you know, some of them are fantastic, but making sure that the most important factor, that the figures still stack up, and you're not just blowing 100k on making this fantastic property that you're going to be paying off for the next 20 years or something.
Yeah, and that's what, I'll be honest, I see it a lot, honestly, because obviously I know the materials, I know the work that's to go on into like loft conversions and extensions, and I'm thinking people are spending a pretty penny, and I'm seeing how much they buy it for, and I'm like, wow, the margins are slim with that. But it looks great, don't get me wrong, and if you're holding it long term, that's fantastic. But yeah, I see it a lot, and I think, oh, I'd love to know the numbers behind that, because it looks expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
And I bet you're the same. You're an architect, right? So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that we like to look for properties that we can add value through to a call-off conversion, garage conversion, things like that. Things that we're tangibly adding floor area to it. But yeah, we're still aware that that comes at a cost, and that's gonna have to stack up. And yeah, like I said, we we have much greater confidence that we're adding value because by adding floor area, but it's still it's still all based off the numbers. It's if the numbers don't add up, we don't go near it.
That's right. That's it.
So guys, everyone still keeps sending in some questions. We'll get to questions in about 15 minutes or so, and then but I wanted to go back. I'm really interested to go back to that first property. I've heard the story all before. You're in the car. You've told your dad you're going to do it, and you're in the car driving over, and you ring him up, and you're telling him that you're on the way to the auction house.
Yeah.
And he's kind of, the way it comes across is he's kind of not taking didn't realise you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
And I just want to know what was going through your head then as like a 20-year-old. Were you shitting yourself? Were you just, did you know, did you done enough research that you just knew what you were doing? What was going on?
Yeah, so I absolutely loved the whole process because I thought, you know what, none of my friends were even interested. I'm like, I'm going to buy a house. And they're like, yeah, whatever. Like, what? Are you going to buy a house? How are you going to buy a house? I'm like, well, I've done the legwork. So, yeah, again, it's about mindset and it's like being fearless. And yeah, I remember to this day, I'm just rocking up to the auction. And like I said, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give my dad a quick call just to make sure he's aware because I know what he's like. And yeah, he was like, what do you mean you're going to the auction? I was like, I told you, Dad, like a month ago, and you said, yeah, that's fine as long as I pay the deposit. And he was like, whoa, like, let's quickly fag packets. How much are you going in for? What's the market value? Okay, make sure you don't do this. But yeah, I was, again, just went there on my own, done all the legwork, and yeah, ended up winning it. But yeah, again, it's the mindset. Just be fearless. What's the worst that can happen? You get outbid. At least you've learned the process of the auction. You know what it feels like. There was just more takeaways than losses in my way. Just going there.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. That's good to hear. And you say about them as well, like not having any mates that were kind of interested in property at all. You say again on one of the things I've heard you when you were talking about that kind of whole living at home and you saving your pennies and being frugal and putting everything into investing. So I don't drink, and I had like from 17 years old or whatever till 21, I think, when people finally started to get bored of it, kind of the peer pressure to drink. And I just wondered what it was like. Did you have that kind of peer pressure on you to be like, oh, why are you staying at home? Why are you spending your money on properties? Blah blah blah. Did you have anything like that?
Yeah, I did. I remember I turned down a holiday to Prague with the lads, and I felt I was gonna cry because literally every one of my friends was on it. Like everyone had saved up, and it was just as I landed a job at Disney, and I was like, guys, I can't do it. Like, I'm saving, and I'll go on the next one. That's what I said. I'll go on the next one because I was so close to completing the deposit. In fact, it lined it up for my second house. And I was like, no, I need all my money I can get because I know what it's like on holiday, especially with your lads. One drink leads to another drink, and you've just blown your weekly budget on night one, and it's just like, oh my god, now what? So yeah, no, absolutely, and as well with the girlfriend at the time, we didn't go on holidays. It was difficult because I worked in London, she lived in Kent, so it was like long distance, and obviously long distance is money. So yeah, it was trying to just rein it all in. But if your mission and your goal is at the forefront of your mind, if you're not North Star, is how I like to see it.
Yeah.
You know what you got to do. You know what you got to do to get there, and if you want it, you'll do it. And I was honest with everyone around me. I said, look, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And at first, you get a lot of, oh yeah, that will last a week, and then they're like, oh my god, he's actually on it. And then I bought my first house, and they're like, oh my god, fair play to him. He's bought his first house, and then you get a lot of respect, and then it kind of grows, and yeah, I think a lot of respect comes out of it. But yeah, it's all about your mind, like this whole session, the mindset. You've just got to stay so disciplined, because if you don't, then no one's going to take you seriously. But if you're leading by example, saving the pennies, working hard, like the first one in the office, last one to leave, doing all the legwork, going to viewings, checking in with agents, see if there's any deals about. All of those little tiny things adds up to your end goal, or you're either one step closer or one step further, whatever you do.
I love that analogy of the North Star. I think that's absolutely a great way to look at it. Did you manage to pull anyone along on the ride? Did you kind of lift anyone up, and has any of your mates kind of got on board and thought, I'd love to do this as well, and brought anyone along with you?
Yeah, I've got a few friends of mine now. I've sourced properties for them, so I was like, yeah, look, how much money have you got? You're like, cool, we can get you a 3-bed, we can get you a 4-bed. And like I said, they trust me, they know me, so they're literally like, here's the keys. I mean, you sourced it, you managed the renovation, and now they just sit back and watch the money roll in, to the point where they want more with me now. But I'm like, well, you got it on mates rates before, but not anymore. For the first one, maybe, but not for the second one. So yeah, no, there's been a few people, and I get messages all the time from people. I get phone calls all the time from people, because everything I share on social media.
Yeah,
and it's contagious. People are intrigued. They're like, oh my god, yeah. And to the point where old work colleagues are contacting me. I've done something with an old work colleague. She had some money spare from our house sale in Camden. She lived there for like 25 years, cashed in, and yeah, she bought a student let, and she's living quite well now. She's got a passive income. Literally, she does nothing, and I think she's moved to Margate now.
Right, I guess.
Yeah, and she's got a dog by the seaside, and that's it. She's happy.
I think that's really good, and I think people who have known us a long enough time that we've been talking about doing this and are now seeing us progressing, I can really relate. Like, they're starting to be like, oh, hang on, we bought another house, and it's just like, well, yeah, because this is real. This is what we've been talking about. This is what we're doing. So yeah, I can completely relate to that. Yeah. Do you have any kind of daily routine or anything like that you like to stick by?
Yeah, I think routine's key. For me, I get up at the crack of dawn. I tend to do about 5:30, go to the gym straight away, and then just start the day, whatever the day throws at me, whether I come in the office, whether I'm on a development, renovation, whatever. But yeah, for me, it's all about getting up at the crack of dawn, getting in my workout, and then going from there, really. I try to listen to audiobooks, like when I'm in the car, but because I live quite close to work, it's very short-lived. So I'm like, okay, and I'm back on it. So
my book consumption has gone down since lockdown. I have noticed that. I need to. I've actually been missing the travelling around the country that I do for work, because I'm not getting as many books listened to at the minute.
That's it, exactly. But yeah, no, I'd say my routine is just eat well, try and stay away from crap, and yeah, just get up early and just crack on with the day. And try and go to bed at a good time as well. I think that makes all the difference.
Well, I was going to say that. What about the other end of the spectrum, the other end of the day? How do you switch off?
Switch off? What's that? So that is difficult for me, because, like I said, I've got so much going on. Like last night, for example, I was up at 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I thought, no, I've got to do this. I've got this JV going through. I was up at 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep this morning. So yeah, it's fine, but again, I'm still fit. I'm still healthy, and you do get days like that. You do get days like that. It's natural, I think, because you've got so much going on. Like I'm trying to get over like nearly 750 grand's worth of property over the line. So there's a lot of pressure. I've got deadlines to hit. I've got builders to manage. So there's a lot of spinning plates that are going on. You've got to keep them up. So yeah, in terms of switching off, it's difficult. It's very difficult. But I say I go to bed probably about 9:30, 10, sit and watch a bit of TV, and just try and chill. Literally, that's as basic as it gets. Some nights I'm working till really late, and then I just literally walk in, have something to eat, and crash, and then up in the morning and away we go again. But yeah, it's non-stop. It's non-stop. But then when I go on holiday, again, I try and switch off then. Just because I think you need that shut off time.
Yeah, definitely. I can relate. I think you're spot on. Like, unfortunately, not even unfortunately, better to have problems, I think, than kind of be sat on the sidelines, be in the game with the problems and sat on the sidelines. But yeah, sometimes things just, you know, they do mount up and you do start to worry about them, and you know, things are happening, and you just, it's what it is, and you just got to accept that that's going to be part of the journey in property. It's not going to be like we keep saying, it's not going to be all passive. You know, go to sleep at night, counting your banknotes before you go to bed, and then sleeping on them, sleeping on your pillow, making a £20 note, and then getting up the next morning and carrying on. So
because as well, through experience, you kind of learn that something always happens unexpectedly. Like for example, coronavirus. It's like these deals that I'm going through, that these should have been done by like March.
Yeah.
Like, and we're nearly May now, so it's like, oh my god. So it's so good that you're just on top of everything, and you've got it in control, because all it takes is something to take the rug from beneath you, and the whole lot will just go. Yeah. So yeah, that through experience, I'd say that's a big tip. Is like, just whatever you're managing, just make sure you're on it, and you've assessed every angle, because all it takes is something to just take the rug from beneath you, and it can sting you.
100%. We had some delays on our refurb at the minute, and it's ended up. It should have been done. We should have been done in mid to late Feb. You know, probably being tenanted ideally by early March, and now we're still on site 12 weeks. You know, could be locked down for 12 weeks. You know, still trying to get it over the line. I mean, we probably would have, if it hadn't been for coronavirus, we probably would have finished now, but we're still on site, but things are going so slowly because it's one working at a time. But, you know, we're now eventually facing 3 months of it. It could have been rented for 3 months. And but you don't know these things are going to happen, do you? We had the warnings, but we had some warnings come in that it's coronavirus in other countries, but you don't know about it until it hits you, do you? So, all right, I told you I only had one scripted question for you, which was, have you got a favourite quote or motto or one-liner?
For me, it's got to be done beats perfect.
Yeah. Done
beats perfect every time. It stuck with me. I heard it about 4 years ago from a guy called Neil Armstrong. Not Neil Armstrong. What am I talking about? He's the guy on the moon. I've forgot his name now. Neil Martin. That's Neil Martin. And he was he did social media marketing, and he said done beats perfect. And I was like, that's so true, because like I said, I'm not the brightest tool in the box, but getting it done is better than making sure it's absolutely perfect, because to get it perfect, you'll probably never get it perfect. That means you'll probably never get done. So just get it done and become perfect later. So
all right, okay. And then this is my 2 other scripted questions I didn't tell you about. One was, have you got a favourite book or book recommendation for anyone?
Yeah, it's The Millionaire Mindset for me.
Okay.
I forgot his name. It's an ebook. It's absolutely fantastic.
I don't even think I've read that one. I don't think I've read that one, so that's in my list.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's I'll message you the book if anyone wants it, or I'll put it on my story later. But yeah, it's fantastic, and it just basically goes through. This guy's a multi-millionaire. He's a businessman who writes it, and he just says his mindset, which is perfect. It's brilliant.
Oh, it sounds like a great book. Perfect for this.
Yeah.
And then, is there one thing that you're learning during lockdown?
I'd say learning. There's nothing I'm acting. I just haven't got time just to sit down and learn something new. I've still got things going on, so I'd probably say I'm trying to learn and delegate more. I'm trying to build up, create more systems. That's something that I struggle to do, but I'm starting to do it now, and I'm seeing its effectiveness. Definitely, I've done it with obviously Josh and Brandon, but I want to do it on such a scale where, like I said, I just want to come out of the business, focus on the most profitable streams of income, and really have a scalable business which runs on its own. Because at the moment I'm very much still in it, and I say that's probably, it's not so much a learning thing, it's more of a focus, more of a mindset, is that I need to come out of it and work on those systems. That's,
I think I've been really surprised by all the people this week so far that with their answers to that question, because I've been expecting them to tell me that they've been learning Italian or something like that, and everyone said something really, you know, like you're saying that you're learning about your strategy system, what's more profitable, things like that. And like Ted was saying that he's learning that he's such a social being, but he's actually learning that he can really cope with being on his own, and he's really, you know what I mean. And they're being much more profound kind of things that people are learning more about themselves or their business than they are literally like, oh yeah, I'm learning how to bake bread, etc. So it's been good. There's been some really good answers.
Yeah, and that's a good point actually. Is that I'm really stretching myself now because the resource that I had, the builders, that they're not here right now. So it's just kind of me going from place to place, like being a postman, for example. Little things like that. It's just like getting on and doing it. But yeah, that you've got to keep it moving.
Well, I think that just that to me, when I saw that you'd driven around 3 solicitors dropping off things, epitomised everything that I think you stand for, what you show about putting that extra effort in and going that extra mile to get it over the line. I mean, we're now elite painting and decorating because we're trying to get this HMO finished, and we're, you know, I mean, but it's just has to be done. It's what it is. And, so I think I thought that was absolutely amazing. Mary's asking, do you have a mentor? Do you have a mentor? Or are you part of any masterminds?
I'm not. I'm really not. I tell you what, Andy, what he mentioned today, I thought that would be absolutely fantastic. About his mastermind with Jay and a few others. I think that'd be absolutely brilliant. But no, I'm not part of any mastermind. I've never been on any courses. I've just literally jumped in. My only mentor is my dad, so to speak. And other than that, I've just literally jumped in and learned and fended for myself really. And I've done a few ALA qualifications.
Right.
But yeah, no mentors other than my dad.
Right. Okay. That's interesting to know. See what you. It's good to see that flip side of it, and that, you know, not signed up for some £15,000 mentorship program or whatever. It's good to see learning on the job. And I think both in my experiences being an architect, you know, you have all these kind of different levels that you go through, and the one for me was that first time I went into industry and worked for a year in industry between my 2 degrees, and just the amount I learned on the job. And I think it's same with property. There's only so many courses, only so many books you can read before you need to just jump in, and you need to stand there on site and have your builder tell you that the lintel in the window's fallen down and you need to deal with it, because no book is gonna teach you that.
That's it. Exactly that. Yeah. The best type of learning is jumping in there, getting it done. I mean, you don't go to a personal trainer. He doesn't teach you how to do the exercises from a classroom, does he? He takes you down the gym. He literally works you out, and you get the sweat on, and you learn from doing it. Same thing in business, same thing in property. Is just get out, do it. Have that PT with you. Don't get me wrong, if you need him. But yeah, just get on with it and get cracking.
Well, one of my favourite quotes: "You don't get a six-pack by watching people do sit-ups."
That's exactly it. Yeah, that's right.
What's your ideal HMO size and number of bathrooms?
Oh, good question. So I'm seeing a shift. In the Medway towns. Is that the higher the room, the less attractive it is, unless it's something special. But the minimos, like the 3-bedroom. We've got a few 3-bedroom HMOs, and they get snapped up. They're the first to go every year, even though they're at a premium. Like say that they're about 500 a room, whereas a 4-bed would be like say 430, 450, and then a 5-bed a little bit lower. Even though they're a higher rate, a group of 3 will just come in and go, "Have you got your 3 beds? Yeah, £500. We'll take it." And it's just like, wow, literally super quick. So yeah, there's definitely some trends in minimos, just because I think it's all about the experience. So there's a group of 3 close friends, and I think it's quite common for a group of 3 to come in as a group, and they're like, yeah, I know you, I trust you, shall 3 of us just get on with it? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Because so many, I mean, from an agency point of view, you see so many people fall through. Like there's a group of 6, group of 5, group of 7, whatever, and then one of that group falls through. And because of the type of tenancy we put them on joint tenancy, they're all responsible for that one that drops out. So it puts a massive strain on it. And I think and it's quite common, but believe you me, it's very, very common. So a lot of students are like, do you know what, I'd rather go with, like, say, 2 others that I know really well, I trust really well, I know they won't let me down, and we'll get and we'll just have a great experience, just us 3.
Why are they dropping out? Is that because they've found somewhere else to live, or they've not passed the year and they aren't coming back to uni?
It's a million reasons. It's
right.
They didn't pass their year, they've fallen out with Joe, who's in the field, or she slept with someone, or he slept with someone, and it's all a bit hairy. Honestly, we it's like a Jeremy Kyle show in this office. It's crazy. But yeah, there's so many reasons, so many reasons. But it's more common in the bigger groups.
Yeah.
So it's more common in the bigger groups. So yeah.
I find it interesting to hear that you. I've never really come across that it's more expensive for the 3 beds, and it's getting slightly cheaper for 4, slightly cheaper for a 5, etc. Going down. I've not really come across that. I know that obviously bigger people more generally want to live in smaller houses, but if the room sizes and the amenities are scaled to suit the size of the house, I didn't think that rent would necessarily tear down.
Yeah, well, it's like you say, it's all about the numbers, it's all about the profit. So the landlord, you've got to think, what are the landlord's options? They can rent out to a family for like 50. So in order for it to be worth their while as a 3 bed, we've got to put up the rates, and that suits it quite well, because 3 beds are quite rare, and that's why they go, even though they're not as nice or as big even as the other 4, 5, 6 beds that we've got. They still go for 500 because they're rare, and I think it's more intimate with just two others, and you're really good friends. Like, just us 3, let's do it, rather than we've got to find someone who's 50-50, or I don't really know him, but let's just get him because we need a group of 5. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a better experience with a group of 3. But that's the trend that we're definitely seeing, is the bigger houses, unless they're like brand new, all en suite, state of the art, like all singing, all dancing, they'll struggle, and the 3 beds, they fly off the shelf.
So our developer has said, is there anything you'd do differently if you started again, habits or mindset?
Wow, yeah. If I started again, I would have definitely started sooner. I think that's one of my regrets, is that when I was in the corporate world and I was doing that transition from full-time role into full-time property, I was juggling like 25 managed houses and doing a full-time role, and it was just like mad. It was crazy. It was like I was working 9 to 5 on, obviously trying to do my job, and I'd look at my phone and there'd be like 50 missed calls, and it would be like 12 o'clock, and I'd be like, oh my god, I've got to. And it would be like new tenants, current tenants, landlords, new landlords, random people ringing me up asking me if I'm looking for a plumber, if I'm looking for. Honestly, it was mad. So that was probably my one regret, because if I would have started sooner, I might have more properties, etc. But yeah, if I was to do things differently, it would be start sooner, and maybe just do some more JVs sooner as well, because I didn't really start doing the JV thing until like 2 years ago, and that's really taken off. But yeah, those are my 2 things, I think.
What's your so why do you like JVs so much? Because again, going back to a comment earlier, was I think a lot of people are put off by it because they think, I'm losing a piece of the pie, but you're very keen on them. So what's your viewpoint on them?
Sure. So basically, the way I see it is that I'm doing the legwork in terms of I'll source the property, I'll manage the renovation, I'll fill it, and I'll manage it. All my JV partner has to do is fund it. And so, technically speaking, I'm getting 50% of a property with no money down deal with. So for me, that's infinite return on investment. And my JVs, they always get paid back first. So I don't take a penny out of the deal until you're paid back. So let's just say it costs 60 grand to get up and running, 70 grand, whatever. once we add value, once we do the refinance, that all goes to you until that 70 grand is paid off. And then once we've hit once you're paid off, then that's when we're 50-50 thereafter on the profit. So for me, I'm in this for the long game. I know I'm not going to see anything for 3 to 4 years. That I'm happy with that. But I know at the end of that 3 or 4 years, I've got an asset that's generating 50% of whatever it's earning. It's going up in value, and I haven't had to put a penny in. I've just had to get it.
You're taking 50% of the equity then as well in the future when it sells.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a long-term strategy, but I think that's great for the person that's doing it because they're learning from me. They're literally exposed. They can, and that's another thing as well that I offer them is that if you're working with me, you've got full access to me. You can have a look at how I stack up a deal, how I find a deal, the contacts that I use. Even if you want to learn how to run a letting agency, I'm happy to sit down and talk you through the nuts and bolts of that. That's not a problem. So yeah, I attract a lot of people from different ends of the spectrum. One guy just wants a passive income. He knows it's safe with me. He's worked with me before, called Victor. I've mentioned him a few times. Brilliant guy. And then I've got other JVs that want to literally do what I do, to the point where they want to have their own agency. So yeah, it's different spectrum. So yeah, and I enjoy it, and it's something that I'm looking to grow.
I think they're saying that it's better to have a lot of something than a little or nothing type thing. So right. Yeah. If the deal's there, the JV's on the table, and that's the option. And like you said, you're only getting 50%, but you're getting 50% for nothing. You put nothing. Okay, put some legwork in, but you put no cash in yourself, infinite returns. That's why right. I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, and yeah, if I can't buy it personally, then I'll JV it, and otherwise it goes to someone else, and it gets filtered down.
So someone's asked what would happen if one of your JV partners wanted to sell earlier than you wanted to? Have you got an agreement in place that you hold it for X number of years?
Exactly. So we've got an agreement. So basically, we review it every 5 years. And yeah, obviously in between that, if we come to a mutual agreement, we want to sell early, then so be it. But we always say that whoever wants to sell, whether it be me or whether it be the JV, that we give first refusal rightfully to the opposing partner. So we don't just go, right, I'm selling up and put it on the market. It's like, I want to sell up. Do you want to buy my half? This is it. So yeah, so that's kind of it. But yeah, we review it every 5 years. Or if we really want to sell it before that, then yeah.
One last one then. James is asking, when can he come round for these pink gins you've promised him, James Sahota? So I don't know what you've been offering him, trying to tempt him over with, mate. But he wants to know when he's allowed that.
Anytime, James. The door's always open, sir. Except for obviously not now. It's a bit of lockdown. But as soon as the lockdown's, mate, come round. I'll have it ready. Ice everything.
Brilliant. Right, we've got the countdown timer has started. We've got just over 1.5 minutes left. So do you want to tell anyone where they can find you or anything like that?
Sure. So yeah, the big one for me is obviously my Instagram account, Property Apprentice. Feel free to check out the website. It's www.studenthousegillingham.co.uk. More than happy to speak to anyone about JV opportunities, or anything through Insta. Just ping me a message and I'll try my best to get back to you ASAP.
Brilliant. Mary's saying that she wants some pink gin as well, so maybe you'll see us down Medway at some point as well.
Brilliant.
We've got a minute left. You got any great stories to tell us or anything? You managed to avoid getting shot the other day from the guy from the balcony.
Oh God, yeah, that was horrendous. Yeah, so there's literally down the road from us. There's these great big blocks, and there's two penthouses. He was in one of them, and he was just firing away. And obviously, being local, the WhatsApp messages and stuff just does the rounds, especially with the students. Yeah. They're right. They even found his Instagram account and everything, and they were like, "Look at this man." So yeah, because Brandon's obviously part of that crew, the uni crew still. He gets all the intel, and then I get filtered it. So it's kind of great. You're still down with the kids, which is quite good being in this role. But yeah, that was mad, absolute madness. But that's Medway for you. It's
maybe Mary can come for the gin, and I'll stay up here in the safety.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, mate. 10 seconds left, so I will catch you soon. Thank you very much for coming on. It's been an absolute blast, and I will catch you on the gram.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. Take care.